Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, SAN, GCON. Your Excellency, I'd like to take a cue from the last speaker, and with your permission, Your Excellency, I would like to stand on already established protocols. Thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a great honor to chair this year's NGX Capital Markets Conference, which is the first major conference by the NGX post-pandemic, and the first since the NGX became a decentralized exchange. I would firstly like to commend the management of the NGX for steering the ship of the exchange in what has been a difficult year for many industries. The stability you have shown through the change process of the organization of the NGX is one that has given renewed confidence to investors and participants in the nation's capital market operators. You have led the way for capital market operators in Nigeria, and therefore you must continue to show astute leadership. I must also commend the organization of this year's conference, which has a very extensive speaker lineup as well as plenary session topics that are not only relevant and timely, but certain to be engaging and result-oriented. These sub-themes, which are centered around driving government's economic growth plans, policy advocacy, and the role of the private sector, are three critical areas that must be explored in our quest to deepen not only growth but also participation in the markets. This is because as we seek to boost recovery efforts across the world and Nigeria in particular, a forum like this is necessary to deliberate and develop workable solutions on reducing the infrastructure gap and boosting the economy using the capital markets as a veritable vehicle. In view of this, there are questions that many would like this year's conference to shed light on. Can the Nigerian capital market provide equity capital and infrastructure development capital for social development projects with strong economic benefits? This is a key question, simply because infrastructure development is a necessary condition for long-term sustainable growth and development, even more so as the government is pursuing various infrastructure projects to bridge the current infrastructure gap, from power projects to dams, housing, rail, roads, energy, amongst others. While there is no doubt that the capital market can make the allocation of capital for development and infrastructure projects more competitive, if involved, is there a downside to it? For instance, will it extend the project financing process, which may be detrimental to boosting badly needed development? This is simply because investors will be looking to match capital only with projects that they deem very profitable. This may also likely minimize the number of projects that can successfully attract funds within a given time frame and effectively hamper the pace of development. Your Excellencies, there is a school of thought that argues, rightly or wrongly, that the Nigerian capital market system is not deep enough, both in terms of the value and the breadth of its offerings. Whatever the case may be, we must acknowledge the current efforts of the NGX to deepen the system as well as keeping market participants abreast of new offerings. But they need to do more. The NGX must move faster in ensuring that the capital market in Nigeria can do more and provide a more robust platform for both private sector and government participation. As a private sector operator, BUA Group has been actively involved in the capital markets in one form or the other over the past 3 years, with some of the largest successful M&A, debt, and equity transactions in Nigeria, even during the pandemic. We believed in the capacity of the Nigerian capital markets to handle those transactions regardless of the economic headwinds, and we were not wrong. Based on this, I can confidently say that the NGX and the Nigerian capital markets can work to the benefit of the private sector and all Nigerians. But is there room for growth? Can we do more? Absolutely, we can. For us at BUA, we have seen increased value, intrinsic and otherwise, for our businesses. This relationship blossomed with the consolidation of our businesses like BUA Cement, which was listed a few years ago in 2019. When we listed BUA Cement, initially we were thinking of maybe 1 to 1.2 trillion. And we ended up getting a valuation of over that. And today, BUA Cement is the fourth largest capitalized company on the exchange, with a total market cap of 2.5 trillion. More recently, and at the start of the year, in another show of confidence in our capital markets, we issued a 100 billion naira Series 1 bond, which was oversubscribed by 39%. Upon completion at 115 billion naira, this became the largest ever corporate bond issued in the history of the Nigerian debt capital market. Earlier in the year, and just as I promised the management of the exchange, when we were seeking to list a few of our businesses, we commenced the process of bringing our food business to the stock exchange. And I can confidently announce that this process is almost completed, and we will provide for a more robust capital market upon listing. One thing we have learned through these various activities within the capital market is that you must come prepared and do a thorough job of interacting and participating within the markets. Whilst it can be very productive, it can also be unforgiving if you are not sufficiently prepared. Your Excellencies, sir, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as I have always believed, there is a need for increased collaboration between market regulators, private sector, capital market operators, and government, especially in the area of knowledge sharing, policy information, advocacy, education, and awareness, as well as in providing solutions to deepen the current system.